we are going to be reacting to PFF's top 10 rosters in the NFL. And I'm going to talk about 1 through 10 right now. Just going to list them out.
All right, cool.
1 is Tampa Bay.
We all agree.
2, Kansas City.
Cool.
3, Cleveland. 4, Buffalo. 5, Baltimore. 6, Green Bay. 7, Los Angeles. 8, Dallas Cowboys. 9, Minnesota. And 10, Denver Broncos. These are the teams that I think were notable snubs.
The Colts.
That could have a debate. 49ers, the Washington football team, the Tennessee Titans, the Indianapolis Colts, the New Orleans Saints, the Chargers, and the Cardinals.
I think the Niners should be in there.
Over who?
The Cowboys.
Fair enough.
So which team do you think got snubbed? Which team do you think needs to be replaced? You just mentioned the Cowboys for the 49ers.
I think the Niners.
Agree.
I think the Niners are OD. When healthy, I think they're OD.
Yeah,
I personally feel like the 49ers have a top 5 roster in the NFL.
Yep. They do. They're like, I think besides like having a rookie quarterback, but even then Jimmy G, I think is still good. Like aside from that spot, their roster from top to bottom is top 5.
Secondary, they could be a little bit better.
For the record,
Verrett is underrated as hell.
For the record, the 49ers, I'll just talk about how PFF ranks this.
Mm-hmm.
PFF just collects their grades on the players and
then mixes
they
it
just
together.
they just mix it, they just match it. So
Makes sense.
basically what they're saying is that this past season, players on the Denver Broncos graded better than players on the 49ers.
A lot of the guys were hurt. Okay,
exactly.
I get it. Okay. So
but that's how they do it. So I personally feel like the 49ers are a top 5 roster in the NFL. I think they have a better roster top to bottom than Baltimore. I think they have a better roster top to bottom than Buffalo. Cleveland is debatable, but Cleveland really made some great changes this past season. Tennessee Titans, I see it because the Titans, their defense is still a major question mark, their secondary specifically, so I can see why. Indianapolis, you can make the argument they should be there, but realistically, they have an average secondary. They don't have a number 1 receiver, right? They don't have a great tight end.
Who was 10 again?
Denver, baby.
Denver. They're going off of Carson Wentz in 2020, which was abysmal.
Oh, yeah. If we're talking about 2017.
The Colts, outside of Darius Leonard, don't have a linebacker, and Okeke, they don't have a linebacker. They just lost Anthony Walker to the Browns.
They have a decent defensive line.
Yeah, they lost Danico Autry, and they lost Justin Houston.
I want your unbiased answer.
I'll try my best.
I have 2 questions. Is Baltimore's roster really better than the Rams?
That's debatable.
I'm gonna say yes off,
especially with Matthew Stafford. And I know they're probably like Matthew Stafford coming in. Like
I'm gonna 100% backtrack. The answer is no. The Rams are absolutely loaded
now
on.
They have a way better quarterback.
That is not talked about is that they lost John Johnson.
You know they got Deshaun Jackson, right?
He barely.
He's going off of
and that's okay. With him being the third option
he's tough
there,
though, but he's just
Van
doesn't
Jefferson.
play.
They got Tutu Atwell
correct.
too.
If he plays,
I mean, you look at their roster. I mean, you still Jalen Ramsey, Taylor Rapp, Darius Williams.
Wait, who got Deshaun Jackson?
The Rams.
Oh my God! If he plays,
and with Matty
sick.
Staffy,
he's gonna what?
Bro,
Deshaun. The Rams' weakness is their linebacking core.
Correct.
And that's pretty much it. Like, you look at their offensive line, Andrew Whitworth, Rob Harvenstein, Austin Corbett, their center, Brian Allen, that could be better. Safeties, that is a question mark.
Especially with the fact that they lost John Johnson to the Browns.
And they lost Brandon Staley. So,
that's a fact.
That's true.
And, my second question, I need your unbiased. I will
try as hard as I can.
Am I bugging for thinking Washington could have a better roster than Denver?
So it's funny that you say that because I put Washington over Dallas. I feel like
they have a better roster.
I don't think Dallas should be in there. I don't think Dallas should be in there.
Personally, if I had to give one quarrel,
but I was putting for Dallas. I had the Niners in, so
I'm putting Dallas for. That's fair. I couldn't take out 2 teams. Dallas was the only one, but there was 2 teams that I would put in over them. It was Washington and it was San Fran.
Yeah.
So it's
you go.
So Dallas is the defense. They did nothing to address it. They really didn't do anything draft day. We screwed them over by taking Surtain. They signed Keanu Neal, but that was it. They really should have went hard body at trying to get Verrett. They should have probably already made a signing of Steven Nelson and or Sherman. It's like they've done nothing to help that defense. You lose Sean Lee to retirement. Van Der Esch has been an injury concern since he's come into the league. Jalen Smith is really that only dude that you can really rely on defensively.
Secondary is still bad.
It's not just bad. It's horrible.
Boy, stink.
I'm Quandre Diggs, right? That's his name.
They lost Aldon Smith too,
which is not gonna kill them, but obviously that is
he was good
a
for
presence.
So
On
they're banking on that offense.
I'm blanking. DeMarcus Lawrence, that's his name, correct? Mm-hmm. He is definitely really solid on that defensive line. But he's still getting up there in age, and you need a secondary in the NFL. There's just no way around it. And if you're expecting Dak to come in and be the gunslinger that he was last year, you don't know if he could do that, especially after coming off a broken leg. You're asking Dak to do
ankle.
I apologize. Yeah, lower extremity injury. Regardless, it is just something that you don't want to have to rely on him to be the savior of your squad. And you look at Washington, they have arguably the best defense in the league outside of Tampa Bay. You could even compare. It is a debate between Tampa Bay and Washington, in my opinion. Steelers fell off a little bit because that secondary is not as strong as Washington's and the Buccaneers. But offensively, you bring in Ryan Fitzpatrick to pair with now you got Curtis Samuel in there with Terry McLaurin, who's one of the more not talked about receivers in the NFL.
Scary Terry.
Curtis Samuel, Adam Humphries. Drafted Diami Brown.
Logan Thomas, who was very good last season.
They also added William Jackson to that secondary. And Jamin Davis.
And Antonio Gibson, who's only going to get better. I think the touchdowns go down, but I think the yardage goes up. This Washington football team as a whole is better than Dallas.
You're telling me Washington should be in the top 10.
They should be.
I'll say this right now. Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Cleveland, Buffalo, Baltimore, they're locks. to be 5.
Locks.
I think Minnesota are locks to be in the top 10. Rams are locked to be a top 10.
Correct.
I have problems with the Packers, Cowboys, and Broncos. We already established.
Well, yeah, you're not high on the Packers.
He's been low on
the 49ers should be over Dallas, right? But I'll even go as far to say the 49ers do have a better roster top to bottom than the Green Bay Packers.
I agree.
And I think Aaron Rodgers, who's so great, can't even take them over the top of the 49ers because they had that great of a roster.
That is
I agree. The Niners have a better roster than the Green Bay
So
Packers.
I'll say the 49ers are better than the Packers roster-wise, who might not even have Aaron Rodgers. Just for your information, a reporter asked Aaron Rodgers, because he's at the Suns game right now, if he's committed, if he's going to be in Green Bay, and he said, we'll see.
Phoenix.
So Rodgers gave a non-committal answer to being back in Green Bay, so they might have Jordan Love. But 49ers have a better roster than Green Bay. I agree. Washington has a better roster than Dallas. Now it's really on Denver. Are you taking Denver's roster over the Chargers? I would go Denver.
Correct.
Yes,
so you're putting Denver over Green Bay. Because I think if you take Aaron out, because I think when people love Green Bay, they just think of Aaron. But if you take Aaron out,
I don't know why Arizona's so low. J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones, Buda Baker,
about them, honestly.
Isaiah Simmons. I think he's gonna have a better second year. Their secondary sucks. Like Arizona's secondary is gonna be bad, but their offensive line, they were one of the best pass blocking teams last year. They got DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green is there, Christian Kirk. And I don't think they're going to be that bad. Top 10, I would probably say not. I would hold off on that.
Top 15?
Top 15, yeah. I think the Chargers and the Cardinals should be top 15. You got the Saints. They really just lost Drew Brees, right?
Yeah.
So
it's just a quarterback thing.
I would hesitate to put them top 10.
Top 15?
I think it's really on the Colts to really be in that top 10. Do I think the Colts have a better roster top to bottom than Denver? Maybe because their offensive line puts them over, because Denver's offensive line, they have a lot of names that we go, wow, he's pretty good.
Solid.
But as a whole, their offensive line ranked one of the worst.
Yep.
Okay.
So we can't really go by the names.
Fair enough.
So the Colts, because of their offensive line, could be up there.
What
but
would be
Denver,
your last 3? 7, 8, 9, 10.
Look, I said
the 5 already. The 5 already.
This is my list, and this is not in order. This is just my top 10. Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Cleveland, Buffalo, Baltimore, San Francisco, a Washington football team, the Rams, the Vikings, and then 10, honestly, I think I would go with Denver. Because let's just compare them versus the Titans. Denver has I think they have a top 3 secondary in the NFL.
Their defense is better.
I'd be honest, best.
Their defense is better than Tennessee's.
By far.
Offensive line goes to Tennessee, weapons goes to Tennessee, quarterback goes to Tennessee, running back goes to Tennessee.
But Denver's offense isn't bad.
It's not bad. It's just that we don't have
It's just
a slinger.
Tennessee has Derrick Henry, who's the
Yeah,
best running back in the league.
They have Julio,
AJ Brown, Anthony Firkser, who I think is going to have a breakout
Well,
year.
then,
I
okay,
agree.
so then
I
let me ask you: is the gap from Denver's defense bigger than the gap from the Titans' offense to Denver's offense?
Can I
Because
answer
that would dictate
you
where
can
we
go.
that would
I think
dictate where we go.
The defense is significant. I think the offense is also significant. But what ultimately wins you games is defense,
Okay.
which is why I lean Denver.
Okay,
Uh,
that's where we'll put Denver because that 10 spot is tricky.
Because right now, I personally think,
I don't know, man. The Titans won a lot of games with just offense, no defense. last year.
and I agree, but it's not going to get them.
They got Julio.
It's
now,
not going
too.
to get them deep into a playoff run. Unfortunately,
And Washington, with the best defense, almost missed it because
but-
of no offense.
but almost beat. I wouldn't say almost.
And the
They had a
Giants.
really good game against the Buccaneers.
Oh, you're
They
right,
made the
you're right.
Buccaneers struggle
But their offense was good that game.
for sure. For sure.
I'll say this, though. Denver versus the Colts. Denver just has Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy,
That's
Noah
tough.
Fant.
Noah Fant.
They have better weapons than
Yeah.
the Colts. The Colts, I think, just have an offensive line and defensive line, and that's even a question mark over
Tim
and
Patrick also
linebacking
everything.
core over the Broncos. But secondary, no way. Saints, Broncos.
You're saying you're taking Colts defensive line over ours?
That's why I said it's questionable because
I'm
you
sorry, I
got
thought you said-
Vaughn Miller, Chubb,
Shelby.
Shelby. They're amazing, but Chubb and Miller don't stay healthy.
Yeah,
Miller has had one season in his career.
Yeah, but we know the NFL
Chubb
is what
has had one season.
and he's
in
getting
his
up there in
career.
age though too.
I agree with you there.
And that was an injury late into his career.
Very true, but Chubb was just an all-star.
I agree
Pro
with
Bowl,
that. I
excuse
agree
me.
with that.
And
But you
that's
need
why
Miller.
I agree.
We need both of them.
But the Colts, DeForest Buckner, he's made
amazing.
such a difference.
Are you going to say
But-
Buckner's the best defender out of the two teams?
I would go a healthy Miller.
I think only healthy Miller's over
Correct.
him.
Healthy Miller.
Correct.
That's only
Correct.
He's only one
I
over.
agree.
But Denver, I think roster wise over the Colts.
So you got Denver right
Um,
now so far.
I
at
think
10.
over the Saints, over the Titans. That's
It's
where
close.
I struggle
It's
with
close. Titans
because the
close,
Titans
bro.
and like their defense is not talented. Like Bud Dupree, they got Danico Autry, Jeffrey Simmons, Harold Landry. You also got Jaron Brown.
Just drafted
Kevin
Caleb
Byrd.
Farley.
Yeah, they have Rashawn Evans. I think he's the linebacker on their team as well. Caleb Farley, Janoris Jenkins, Kenny Vaccaro, Amani Hooker, who I think is going to be good now that
Kevin Byrd is still there,
Kenny,
right?
Oh yeah, he is there. Kenny Vaccaro
Fire.
left. Amani Hooker's taking his place. I think he's going to do good taking his place. And Kevin Byard. Like talent wise, they are
It's
there.
close, dude.
They just didn't really play well last year on defense, but talent wise, they are there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm taking out Denver, I'm only taking them out for Tennessee.
So you
And
basically
I can't argue too much.
Yeah.
so
there,
you basically
truthfully.
have Titans and Broncos at your 10-11.
Yeah, because you look at Tennessee offensive line that goes
Very
to
good.
that go over Denver, weapons over Denver.
Easily.
Is their offensive line built like that?
Yeah, they are one of the best in the league. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Let me look
Running
it up.
back way
Easily.
over, quarterback play way over.
Yeah.
Like
The offense,
it's just,
they
yeah,
got it.
It's just hard to rank that. But Denver does have a great roster. They just need a quarterback.